a new kind of Marvel show that's on Hulu. So because it's kind of R-rated and there's some kind of grown-up jokes in it and stuff like that. So yeah, so in the UK, there's Hulu isn't available. There's a thing called Disney Star. So that's what this show is on. So the more mature movies and shows are on Disney Star here, while in America it's Hulu because they're owned by Disney, aren't they? But the way it works is this show is about this supervillain, Modok, and it kind of follows him in his daily life, living with his family, and he's also over this kind of evil organization where it's kind of this place where he creates his weapons and master plans and stuff, and his henchmen all work and live there, and he has robots as well that are kind of his slaves. So yeah, that's what the show is really about, and it is a little bit edgy and stuff. There's some jokes in it that are very mature, but like it doesn't really push it like that far. It's not like Deadpool. It's just more of a it'll make fun a little bit more of things. But some characters pop up like Iron Man and John Hamm is voicing Iron Man in it. Of course, he was in Invincible as well, and so he does a pretty good job. He's only like 2 or 3 episodes, but Modok himself is voiced by Patty Oswald, and also in this is Ben Schwartz. He plays his son, but basically it's just in the day of it's a day in the life of this supervillain, and it's fun to watch. The episodes are only like 25 minutes long, and there's not much to digest. It's not really that heavy. It's kind of like, did you ever see BoJack Horseman, Casey?
No, but I have heard of it.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but it's not as deep. You don't feel for the character as much, and they don't really push the emotional substances that much either. Like they could do a lot more with this show, but it's a fine watch. It's only 25 minutes, 10 episodes, but it's something to sink your teeth into. Patton Oswalt, of course, that plays the character Modoc. His voice is very noticeable. He's been in loads of things. He voiced the animated character Happy in the sci-fi show Happy, which was pretty good as well. So yeah, it's okay, but it could be a lot better. They could have maybe more heroes show up and stuff like that. Only Iron Man's only the only one that has showed up, and they create some brand new characters for this show. But yeah, it's an okay show. It's not invincible. It's not Harley Quinn or anything like that. It's an okay show. You could probably do with missing it if you wanted to. But I suppose the most positive thing to take away from it is it's interesting to see a supervillain so vulnerable, living with his family and dealing with family issues, while also trying to be a supervillain as well at the same time. But also kind of has this chip on his shoulder because he feels like he has to prove something, and he kind of people look down on him as well, and he isn't as powerful as he used to be. So it's interesting to see a vulnerable villain deal with family issues. So like that's something new as well that you haven't really seen before. But if you if you wanted to, you could miss it. If you just want something to watch, maybe background sound, it's an easy one to have on. There's some really really good jokes there, but it's more dry humor. It's more of kind of the dark humor, that kind of stuff. It's not laugh out loud all the time, but if you like kind of subtle humor, dry humor, I think you'll have fun with this show. But yeah, Modoc is on Hulu right now. 10 episodes, 25 minutes each, and it's not too bad. It's okay.
Nice. I saw some of the pictures that are, available online, and the ones you can see here right now. Some of these seem
Yeah,
like stop motion plus VFX. And
yeah.
did the stop motion bother you at all?
No, it's not that bad. It's actually the animation style is actually easy to look at. It's kind of it's hard to get used to Modoc because he's such a big head and he floats around. It's kind of weird to look at for a while.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's pretty cool. Like we've got Nathan Fillion doing a voice in the show as well. He's going to be in the Suicide Squad with James Gunn. John Hamm, as I said, he's a character. He plays Iron Man. Ben Schwartz, who did the voice for Sonic the Hedgehog, he's in this too. Whoopi Goldberg is in it. So the voice cast is pretty good. But for me, it don't really push the edge that much in terms of it is kind of R-rated. So I would think maybe go that extra mile with it. Some parts are actually very bloody and gory. But then you go into the next episode and there's none of that stuff whatsoever. So, but, like as I said, he's dealing with family issues, but there's also a super villain, a bigger villain than him, trying to outstage him, which was actually a cool spin on it. Got to do with time travel as well. So yeah, it could be one just to get your feet sink into and have a look at it. But Pat Oswalt as Modoc is pretty good, and he's probably the best thing to watch in the show. The other side characters are just okay, but yeah, check it out. And Yeah, the animation style is pretty good as well. And Zach Green is actually one of the producers on this. Seth Green doesn't appear in many movies or shows that much anymore, but he's one of the main producers for the show, and it does kind of have his humor as well. And Patton Oswalt wrote a lot of these episodes too. So yeah, it's if you like those guys, you're probably going to like this. Bill Hader actually does a voice too, but yeah,
Nice. It kind of looks very good, but I'm not sure about the stop motion thing, and uh, but there's still CGI in that, with the lens flares and all that stuff. So I guess it's cool.
yeah,
Maybe after the whole
yeah,
season is done, I'll watch it. This is not
yeah.
something
It's an easy
connected to
watch.
anything, right?
No, it's its own standalone thing. But in one of the pictures you had up there is kind of them guys in yellow suits.
Mm-hmm.
They're very funny. They're silly and they're kind of stupid, and their dry humor is the best. Like their little one-liners off camera or at the end of the scene, kind of make a scene as well. So yeah, those guys are pretty funny. And Modok's daughter looks just like him, while his son looks like a normal human being, which is kind of weird. And it never explains how Modok falls in love with this woman, his wife, because his wife is actually a pretty good person. So I would have liked them to show maybe a flashback how they fell in love, because pretty she's a pretty good person, but he's a supervillain. So I would like to see how that worked out. But it actually ended on a cliffhanger.
Oh,
So kind of
it's
a, well, not a
over?
cliffhanger, but like yeah, it's 10 episodes dropped
Oh,
on
okay.
Disney Plus on Hulu, but on Star and the UK one they're dropping weekly.
Okay.
So whatever reason, I don't know why they're doing that, but it kind of dropped in a kind of a half cliffhanger, half. Oh my god, I want to see what happens next. So yeah, season two will probably happen because Hulu have been pushing this show. They want their own kind of Marvel show for Hulu, because the other Disney Plus shows are like family friendly for the most part. This one is kind of where you're like edgy stuff. So yeah, it's not too bad.
Nice.
Yeah, and John the Hermit as well. His comment there, he goes, "I never seen the show, but it has a cool robot chicken vibe to it with the stop motion." Yes, the robot chicken crew are involved with this, so that's why the stop motion animation style is like the robot chicken production, because those people actually work on this. So, but they're not credited big time. They're at the end of every episode, but if you go looking for it, it doesn't say this is a robot chicken production, but they are involved with this, and yeah, the animated style is very much the same.
Nice.